What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I have a theory. I have a theory based off of this recent lawsuit that was filed. Now, let me preface this by saying that everything is alleged and it's innocent until proven guilty. An accusation or a lawsuit doesn't necessarily guarantee that things are true. However, we have to mind it out. We have to have the conversation because I believe, and everybody has been questioning this for a long time, and we've seen Shannon Sharpe speak on it. We've seen Skip Bayless speak on it. We've also seen in this exact same lawsuit, Joy Taylor be accused of some egregious things, including sleeping her way to the top. We've been minding that out. We had that conversation on the Millionaire Morning Show, but I also want to go over Skip Bayless because Skip Bayless is being overshadowed by Joy Taylor. Absolutely being overshadowed. I mean, we all know the $1.5 million that he's alleged to have been um, offering this woman. We just gonna call her Miss F, right? For the sake of conversation, we're going to call her Miss F. And her name is Nushin Farahi. All right. Nushin Ferrari. And I want to actually show you her for a visual reference just for the sake of conversation. All right. So this is the woman who filed the lawsuit, who's making all of the accusations against everybody and saying basically that they was trying to get to the box. This is the woman. Not a bad looking woman at all. This is the woman that is saying that she was the hairdresser for Skip Bayless. And, he was making her these crazy offers. Well, it's no point in going back and forth about it. Let's just go ahead and go into it and let's have this conversation. All right. So let's go back to the lawsuit itself. That's her name. That's her for a visual reference. But let's go down to the part where Skip Bayless, where she kind of go into when she knew his contract. Obviously, all of us knew that in 2016, Fox had contacted him in order to start this new show, Undisputed. Shannon Sharpe was one of the people they selected. He believed in Shannon. Obviously, that turned out to be a very, very smart move. But Skip Bayless right now is in shambles. And the reason that Skip Bayless is in shambles right now is because after Shannon Sharpe left and after Stephen A. Smith and his relationship is all done, now nobody actually wants to work with Shannon Sharpe, or not Shannon Sharpe, I'm sorry, Skip Bayless, because either he just doesn't have it, either he's toxic, or whatever it is. And again, we thought that the breakup of Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless was largely based off of the fact that Skip Bayless was mad at Shannon or he would say something to him on air and all of this stuff. But I think it was a little bit more than that. Let's go into this lawsuit a little bit. First of all, Miss F, we're just going to call her Miss F. She says that after the reporting of the talk show host fell on deaf ears, Mr. Bayless began requesting that Miss F give him a haircut once a week in a makeup room. She did as she was told, and this is what is being alleged, all right? Initially, the haircuts by Mr. Bayless would discuss his life, his work at Fox, and other matters. However, soon after the weekly haircut started, Mr. Bayless began finding excuses to touch Miss F. He would give her lingering hugs after each haircut, putting his body against her own, pressing against her breast. He then began to kiss her on the cheeks. She was uncomfortable, it says, by the physical contact and would make excuses to leave right after the haircut. She would say, I need to pick up my son from school, so on and so forth. And also, let's also put into this that Mrs. F or Miss F just so happened to be a single mother. Yeah, it gets deep. Let's deep dive a little bit more. In approximately summer 2017, after obviously the launch of Undisputed in 2016, she was giving him a haircut. He told her that she was voluptuous. English is her second language. I know y'all like them passport chicks. Not familiar with the word. Asked what it meant. He seemed amused, told her to figure out. She eventually found it out from somebody else, was appalled, and stated that she did not date at work as she is a single mom and needed her job through the continuous declining of offers from Skip Bayless. Now, again, all of this alleged, we don't know for sure, but we all knew that something was going to happen or something was going to come out because every single year at the beginning of the year, it seems like stuff just start blowing up or Shannon Sharpe is somehow tied to it, whether it be interviewing uh somebody or him being at the center of things apparently in this. It says she was terrified, turned to her coworker, Two decided that Mr. Bayless was a powerful man and Fox protected powerful men. Earlier in this lawsuit, she said that Mr. Dixon, which is the person that Joy Taylor, she's alleging, have slept with. And that was one of the people that got her a job because Mr. Dixon, Charlie Dixon, who is this guy right here, see, you don't have to be a great man at all. You just got to have a little bit of power and a little bit of money. Mr. Dixon insisted, because Skip Bayless was his friend and he was controlling everything content related, that Joy Taylor be on the show. All right. We got a lot of visual references today, but let's continue. We want to get to the part where Shannon Sharpe is involved, or they're alleging that Shannon Sharpe is involved. All right. Powerful man, only to be to her detriment to report the issue. If she reported him, the two decided to be kind towards Mr. Bayless, or she would lose her job. Goes on to say that she hurt her back. She went back to human resources. They said that they could fire her. She felt like she was being treated unfairly. But then um, she goes into Joy Taylor was moved from undisputed to the herd with Colin Cowherd. Now, one of the things that she does say about Colin Cowherd is that through her entire tenure at Fox, Cowherd was professional and respectful towards her and her coworkers. So, as I said on the Millionaire Morning Show, that it needs to be reported when people say great things about great men that's unwilling to fumble the bag, and he put his bag above everything. We don't care about your box. We don't care about your single motherhood. We don't care about nothing. All we care about is continuing to run that bag up. Around this time of learning of Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon's relationship, Taylor then broke off engagement with threatened to go public with all that he knew. Taylor's then fiance threatened to go public with all that he knew. On information and belief, Mr. Dixon paid for the wedding deposits in an informal exchange for her fiance. All right. Let's continue to go down. All of these women are saying that they were basically harassed and sexuality to get on the show, blah, 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 blah. So now she was getting tested and she believed that she had cancer, right? And this is what she was using and telling, according to this lawsuit, Skip Bayless, in an attempt to stop his advances. And they're saying that he then offered her $1.5 million for box. Now, that's when I started to say, mm, is she that bad? Because I ain't seen box in his lifetime. Not one. That's worth more than $40 if you ask me. I mean, I don't believe in paying for box, but I know that a lot of people do. And if they are, I suggest you just give them $40. And that's just so they can get home and catch an Uber. 1.5 M's, you are a super thirsty simp if that is true. It says he continued his advances, hugs and lingering hugs and kisses on the cheek, inappropriate comments that he could change her life if she acquiesced. That he could change her life if she gave in and laid down. Now, two reasons why I started to pause at this part is A, you always try to put yourself in the shoes and say, man, would I be willing to part with 1.5 M's even if I had a big contract like Skip Bayless had? Absolutely, positively not. No way. And then on the flip side, I have to ask myself, if this is true, is there women out here, especially single mothers that's out here struggling in these California streets, that is willing to turn down 1.5 M's to get her life changed? You got to ask it from both lenses, and that's all I'm saying. Anyways, they said that she turned it down and would make excuses regarding her son, politely change the subject, make a joke, anything to keep Miss Skip Bayless appeased and his job and her job safe. She said that she had issues with her left ovaries and they were advised it could be cancer. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her. He said, that's nice. We'll fix that cancer thing, but I like you and I want you. All right. Said she panicked, began rambling that there are cameras everywhere and that she has a child and that she does not want him. And he grabbed her hands and began kissing him. Mwah, mwah, and then offered the 1.5 M's for the box. Jesus, peace. I'm appalled here. I'm appalled. Approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance to saying, she says, Skip, stop, you got a wife. And he says, aren't you Muslim? Don't your dad have 3 or 4 wives? And then she says, my father has passed away, and he was taken aback and made an excuse to leave. Then She talks about her job being threatened. Now, this is where the lawsuit apparently came in. Not sure why it's just being filed in 2024, but we're gonna get there. On April 13th, my birthday, 2022, my 40th birthday. They texting back and forth. He texted her, she texted back a day later and said, "I'm not comfortable down here." And Skip just basically crashed out. They say that they was in this fitting room, that she started to try to record. And Mr. Bayless answered the door. Before she could speak, he began to angrily accuse Mrs. F or Miss F of effing Shannon Sharpe. She tried to explain that she didn't have any feelings towards Mr. Sharpe and had never slept with him or any other talent member or employee at Fox. So she was above board. I would assume that she's saying that she above board. If you filing a lawsuit and you saying that he offered 1.5 million and you turned it down, you got to be the most above board single mother that I've ever seen in my entire life. God bless you. They said Mr. Bayless demanded that she come down to the car. And she responded it'll be inappropriate, and he grew irate and left. Okay. Next day, he texted her, "If you're distracted tomorrow, I'll wait till Monday, but I can't keep doing this." She says she was confused. He says, "Trust me, I'm far more confused." I would imagine so. If she turned it down 1.5 M's, you got to be at the bottom of the totem pole if you turn it down 1.5 M. If you offering 1.5 M's, first of all, she don't like you. If this is true, she really don't like you. And secondly, she turning down the money. Yeah, bro, it's time to give it up. Skip is hitting rock bottom. On the 15th, he texted, "Do you still want to do the haircut or just move on?" And she says she doesn't want to move on because she needed her job. On the 16th, did not answer the call. Oh, he called her. She didn't answer the call because she was scared. Then she called him back 10 minutes later. And he angrily accused her of effing Shannon Sharpe. Said that he could tell from her body language that she was getting bust down. She explained that she was kind of all of the talent and laughing and engaging in conversation, and he then was yelling at her because she refused to go to his car. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated that he heard her talk to Mr. Sharpe about her vagina. She knew this to be untrue and was embarrassed and angry. Miss F responded that even if she had been dating Shannon Sharpe, which she hadn't, it wouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayless. So even if I am busting him down, even if he is busting me down, which he ain't, right? I'm only professional with you. I don't want you, is what she's saying. Anyway, she turned over the recording device or whatever, so on and so forth. She said that the room is bugged, and he then started going off, said that you doing a big thing with my arch rival, Bull S, Bull S, Bull S. I'm calling Bull S. And Mr. Bayless said, warned he doesn't want her to lose her job over this. Listen, I'm the big dog. I got love for you. I have for 6 years, but you hurting me and you ruining this. He was determined to get sloppy seconds, right? He invited her to come to his crib and do it, all of that other type of stuff, and it just didn't play out. So, anyways, my point in all of this, in this lawsuit, which again, we have to mention that this is innocent until proven guilty, and we cannot say that it did or it didn't happen. We know that people lie all the time, and I, by default, don't believe everything that women say when they say it, especially when they start to drop lawsuits and get money and trying to get this money. I just sound like you on a hard time. But let's entertain this for the sake of conversation. If this be true, then that real life interaction that they had online, where it seemed like they really hated each other in real life, maybe it was over a little bit of box. Maybe it was over the fact that Shannon was getting it. Skip was the money man. He couldn't get it. And that's where all of the vitriol and the hate came from. That's why they keep talking in code every time somebody asks either one of them what really happened and why did you guys break up? Is it possibly over box? Do you think that Skip Bayless went haywire because he couldn't get this chick and bust her down? I don't know. This is where I'm leaning to you guys. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let me know what you think. Do you think that the real breakup of Skip and Shannon was over a chick, or do you think that they just naturally were arch rivals and then they couldn't keep it professional? I love you. I appreciate you. We're going to talk about this tonight.